finally here. I thought today would be a good day to do a quick video. Well, I always say quick, but it never turns out to be so. But I wanted to do a PS4 game collection. I also thinking I'm just gonna film it back to back, my top 24 games. Or top 24 top games of 2024 after this one. I mean, depending on the order that you're watching it, I'll probably first upload the top games for 2024 and then PS4 game collection and the PS5 game collection afterwards. So let's get started. Alright, so first here we got Horizon Zero Dawn. This is the PS4 version. Good game. I believe when it came out back in 2017, it was overshadowed by Breath of the Wild. Fun game. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Not everyone's cup of tea, but for some reason Sony keeps pushing this IP on people. I know it sold well, very well actually, but it's strange. It's one of those games that not a lot of people talk about, surprisingly. Sticking with Horizon. And these are in no particular order, by the way. They're just how I organized them here for the video. But yeah, Horizon 2 Forbidden West, special edition. It came with a cool art book by Dark Horse Comics. Oh, is it Dark Horse Comics? I don't know, it's just the Dark Horse brand. And they're very sleek. Nice. Steelbook. Sorry. And apologies if you can hear that background noise. I believe it's neighbors just hanging things up on their wall or something. Final Fantasy VII Remake Deluxe Edition. Yeah, this game reminds me of COVID. Or the lockdown at least. Awesome game. Very, very fun. one of PS4's best games. And yeah. It's expansive. It's not as long as Rebirth, but it's got 2 discs, one for the installing the data and the other for the actual game, which is pretty interesting. I noticed a lot of bigger games or AAA titles were doing that towards the end of the console's life cycle. I think Red Dead did the same thing, but yeah, big fan of this game. I think I've mentioned it before, but I've never played the original Final Fantasies. So, I know my opinion really doesn't matter to some of you watching, but it's a great game. I recommend it if you like JRPGs, action RPGs. Cuphead. I've never actually played this one. I did the unboxing, I think, on camera. Yeah, I think I uploaded this one, but I haven't played it yet, so I really can't say anything, but I'm excited to. I hear it's very difficult, and it looks like it. I'm a big fan of the art style. Very, very big fan of that. what is this, like 50s, 60s artwork. Looks really cool. Can't wait to dig in. Cuphead. Infamous Second Son Collector's Edition. Yeah, this is the last Infamous game in the series that we know of. Fun game. They use a real life location, unlike the original few games that I think they use a fictional version of New York. I think, if I recall, unless it was actually New York. But you play as Delson Rowe in this game. I have no idea how I remember that. I haven't played this game in years. But at this point, this game came out almost 10 years ago, which is insane. Think about it, just felt like just yesterday. Goodness me. Yeah, it came with all these little pins, which are still in there. The beanie is still in there as well. I've used it though; it's definitely seen some time. Not the greatest quality beanie, to be honest, but gets the job done. I love that it's subtle; like it doesn't have like Infamous plastered everywhere. So yeah, fun game. Really enjoyed it. Wouldn't hurt to do a remaster of these Infamous games or remakes. Red Dead Redemption. So this is the remastered version, which I believe, I just took it out of another case, but nope. There's the back artwork. 11. I think they did the port to PS4. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption, classic game, 2010. I like both John Marston and goodness, I forget the name of the main character in the second game, which is a prequel. Dear, I forget, but I like the character. I forget his name. Some of you are probably yelling at the screen. This is his name, or that's his name. Goodness, what the heck was his name? It's gonna bother me. Oh, Arthur Morgan, I believe was his name. Always funny enough, not mentioned in the original game, which kind of sucks. I wish that wasn't the case. Fun game. I actually beat it for the first time ever, just earlier this year. I had this game on the PS3, and I believe I still do somewhere, but I never beat it. I got to the I guess the epilogue, the ending stages where you get to play as what is it? Was it Blackwater? I think the town. And you're playing as his son Jack. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So spoilers, sorry. Come on guys, it's been 15 years. I hope that you guys played it, but very good game, one of the classics. Love that game. Marvel vs. Capcom, Fighting Collection, arcade classics. Very, very fun game. I played this, funny enough, I played this over Thanksgiving weekend, and I had a blast. Very fun game. Yeah, surprisingly, this is gonna be in my top 24 games. I know it can't really make it, considering it's basically a port of a bunch of different games from the arcade era and whatnot, but hey, screw it. I enjoyed it, so why not, right? I had a lot of fun playing this. A lot of fun. In fact, it comes with a little comic. Really cool. Really, really cool. since COVID. I had a PS5 update and then I sort of just stopped playing it afterwards, but very fun game. I enjoy this one more than the most recent Mortal Kombat title. And when I heard they were gonna add the Terminator here, I flipped out, man. I tell you, I was telling everybody, even people that didn't care about games. This is so funny. Just seeing the Arnold's likeness on there was pretty cool. Yeah, here it is, baby. A classic. It's funny. I used to work at GameStop, and I got this while I was working there. When you buy it and you're an employee, you get the free warranty for a year. So in case anything happens to your game, you get a free copy or a replacement rather. Man, this is an awesome game. Absolutely love this. I can't say it enough. You guys have heard me just blabber about this damn thing. If you like character action games in general, this is a fantastic game, but I wouldn't start here. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to get into the series, probably start with the original game, because it only gets better from there. If you were to play it backwards, you would probably find yourself very frustrated. I do have hopes, very high hopes, that Capcom is going to remake the original game and the second game. And oh god, if they do the third game and this game are arguably my favorite games of all time. Yeah, I hope after they announce Onimusha at the Game Awards, the possibilities are endless. Yeah, great game though. Fantastic game, I love it. Speaking of, this is the same game, just different case. I picked up, like I said, I was working at GameStop, and I foolishly picked up the new copy there because I wanted to, get it on time, play that night of. I hardly do that with games, by the way. I never play them on release day or things like that. I haven't done that since I was like in high school. And this was the first game. Well, this one and Red Dead Redemption were the first games that I played on release day. Surprisingly, we had a few people turn out for the pre-order to pick up their copy, which is very interesting because it's not, it's technically a mainstream game, but not as big as, like Red Dead or Call of Duty. But anyway, this is from the collector's edition. I kept this, obviously, on the side. I got rid of my other copy. I think my brother has it, and he's kept it, which is fine. I have so many copies of this game at this point. But that's why the case is empty. And it's got the really cool insert here too. It should be the same thing, right? Oh, it's just got the extra content items there. But yeah, I love this cover because this is like the counterpart of this. Like this is them walking away. This is the front facing of that. And them performing that action, so that's pretty cool. Oh, here it goes. Speaking of freaking just awesome games, a classic Resident Evil 4. This is an absolute masterpiece. One of my favorite games of all time. In fact, I played this DMC3 the same year, which I often coin as being the reason why I got into games. I don't really play them as much prior. This really got me into like obsessed with like reading the magazines and whatnot as a kid. and I can really see the influences from this game and the original Devil May Cry. Yeah, this is just an absolute masterpiece. I'm sure there's really not a whole lot you can say on this game that hasn't been said already. It's just a fantastic game, and monumental, and just very, I think, inspirational for the industry as a whole. I honestly don't think it often gets the credit it deserves in that regard. I mean, I know, I'm sure a lot of people think the same way, but just the mere fact of the camera shift, I mean, this game really popularized that camera. Prior to that, I think it was like a few games, not many, that had this sort of like over-the-shoulder camera perspective, because at the time that games were being made, back like early 2000s and mid-2000s, so that the third-person camera perspective was all over the place. Like, it was like GTA style San Andreas, where it's like over the character's head and just all over the place. And after this game came out, many other just developers and games just started to follow suit because they popularized it. Now, I don't think this was the first game to ever have that. I think there was another title, I forget the name, but I think it was a Namco like military shooter that had like a semi over the shoulder camera, but a quite semi obscure title that had that. I think it was like Kill Switch or something like that the game was called. I don't remember. That used that camera angle, but yeah, this game popularized it and made it mainstream. I just think sometimes it doesn't get that credit. At least in some cases, I think it's just overlooked. But it's probably just me just being a fanboy of the game. Resident Evil 5, the first game that I ever camped out for, and I believe the only game I've ever camped out for. I was in complete awe and just waiting for this game. This game looked extraordinary to me, coming off Resident Evil 4 and just building off of that. I thought, with the trailers at the time, it looked like it was going to be a decent, like, survival horror game. It turned out to be a good game, and I would even go as far as saying it's great. It was a great game, but not, nowhere near this game. It's stepped into action far more than I would have ever wanted. But what can you do? But it's still fun, and it was a decent story. Nothing revolutionary, but for Resident Evil standards, before it took a turn to the worse, if you know what I mean. The game that, so sorry, my microphone just unclipped from my sweatshirt here, but the game that brought it all back, this was a saving grace for Resident Evil. After Resident Evil 6, which I'll show you guys in a bit somewhere on here on this pile, after Resident Evil 6, the series was sort of in shambles, I guess you could say. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. After the sixth game was, which, by the way, I thought mechanically was good, but just was all over the place, and you could tell that game was made by like 500 people, or however, I'm not sure how many they had, but they had a ton of people working on it. But yeah, you could tell. This game brought it back to just survival horror, and in fact, probably the scariest of the series by many. I think it's the first time it's been in first person. I could be wrong. I don't remember if like the Outbreak games were first person, or even counting like the Dark Side Chronicles or Umbrella Chronicle games. But yeah, very definitely influenced by PT, and that the whole first person survival horror movement that was going on back in 2014. But this is a fantastic game, awesome Resident Evil game, one of my favorite of the series. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough. It's very, very creepy. Good game to play for Halloween. Another game that reminds me of COVID, Resident Evil 3. The black sheep of the remakes, at least. Yeah, this is a fun game. Very, very much survival horror. I'm sorry, action-oriented, not less survival horror. But it's still a very awesome game. Like it's not as good as 2 remake, but this holds its own, and the combat is well done and just overall great. Really, really enjoyed it. I think this was developed by I forget the name of the company, but it wasn't really Capcom, the dev studio that made the remake or 2 remake or Resident Evil 4 remake. I think this was a sort of a side project or a project sent to another developer that worked alongside Capcom with this game. It was like sort of like outsourced, I guess, but you can kind of tell it's a lot shorter, and I think that's why they include this like online component, which by the way was very fun. Looking back, it was probably really terrible, but I was playing it with my brother during lockdown, and we were having a blast. He was very good at this game. Very good. He's very good at these very like what do they call them? Oh goodness, there's a term for those games that like the 13th type titles. I forget. There's a name that you guys use to refer to these. Resident Evil 2. This is the deluxe edition with another cool insert, and it's got a reversible cover, which I believe the original game does as well, like the standard game. Oh wait, maybe not. I'm not sure. This is the deluxe edition, so you get the alternate cover. And yeah, this is the one that I got with the collector's edition with the Leon statue. So I actually got this for. So I lied. I got this while I was working at GameStop, so it's not just 2 games. It's this one I forgot about. I picked this up as well when I was working there. So yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, it was really cool. You get 15% discount, so that was at least neat. Very nice. Yeah, but after Resident Evil 7, releasing Resident Evil 2 Remake sort of brought the series back to its third-person roots, and people really, really like this game, and this game is awesome. I absolutely love this game. I really do. The only thing, my only gripe, and it's just a minor complaint here. It's not really a complaint if you think about it, but my only minor gripe is that a lot of people pretend that Resident Evil 4 Remake didn't happen when they thought about this game. It's just, I find it a little odd. And don't get me wrong, this game is great. Fantastic game. It's one of my favorite PS4 games. I honestly kind of wish. So when this game came out, it was awesome because I got 3 of my games, basically 3 of my favorite childhood games, back to back, and it was such a cool time because I was sort of transitioning out of GameStop, and I was about to finish up my schoolwork and gonna start a new job in the summer or whatnot. So it was almost like this moment where I don't know, playing these games, because I mean really since 2019, I haven't really had the same flexibility with playing a lot of games as I did, and a lot of that is attributed to my job and whatnot, and just getting older, just more responsibilities, etc. But this game came out right after Kingdom Hearts 3, which the Kingdom Hearts games 1 and 2, not so much the other side stuff, but 1 and 2, particularly the first game, I played that also the same year I played DMC3 and RE4, and I remember just being enamored by that game. I thought I looked like the stupidest thing when I first saw it, like Mickey Mouse and Goofy and Donald with Sora. I was like, what in the world is this? Like, who plays this stuff? And I ended up falling in love with just the characters, the story, the music. As cheesy as it is, I thought it was really cool. And it was just so funny that time, that 2019, that first sort of quarter of 2019 when we got Kingdom Hearts 3, Resident Evil 2, and then Devil May Cry 5, like back to back, like literally. Like I got Kingdom Hearts sometime in January, then this came out late January, and then a few months or a month and a half later, I got DMC 5. I just thought that was awesome. Like, this is back to back, just nonstop fun. But the only thing is that where I was going at with that is that it's sort of I felt like I needed to rush through this, so I can get to this without any distraction. So I don't know. I absolutely love this game. I've gone back to play it several times since then. And I love that it's so compact. It's so, like, you can sit down and really play this in a matter of just days. And as you get older, guys, like, I don't know how some of you are out there, definitely enjoy the time that you have to play them, because believe me, I always would tell myself, that's not going to be me. Trust me, just, life gets in the way, and thankfully, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not knocking that. It's a good thing. You're growing up, you're getting more responsibilities, you're finding time to perform or take part in other tasks or hobbies, and that's always a great thing. But it's definitely a nice thing to be able to sit down and play a game that's that's not going to take you 3 weeks to complete. As you get older, you just don't have that time. In fact, I think I just took another gun, by the way, guys. In fact, I think developers and publishers are seeing that now. I mean, the data that they're seeing is that most people are not finishing games. They need to make shorter games. And I get it. I think there should always be a time and place for longer games, but yeah, this is where it's at. But yeah, while I absolutely love this game, I don't think it's better than RE4 Remake. Absolutely not. But it's a phenomenal game. Like, I love the setting, the city, being in a police station, and so on. This is just a beautiful game. Just talking about it, I just want to jump back into it. But again, yeah, people talk about it like RE4 doesn't exist sometimes. I don't know. It doesn't rub me the wrong way, but it's just, I just think it's kind of weird pointing that out. Oh yeah, the black sheep of the series, of the DMC series. Well, actually, no, I think 2 is the black sheep of the series, but DMC Devil May Cry. I was very, very disappointed with the change in Dante when they released this. I thought it wasn't. I'm not kidding. I thought that was a joke. Like, I thought they were kidding. I thought they were making something else. Excuse me. When they announced this at Tokyo Game Show in 2010, I absolutely thought this was like a parody or something. Like, no, this is like I was waiting for the punchline, watching the trailer. But no. More and more time went on, and I realized that no, they're actually going for that a reboot of Dante, and I remember being so. Yeah, I mean, I had mixed feelings on it. I remember at the time I was going through other things. So obviously, it's just ultimately, it's just, you pinch out, you zoom out perspectives. It's just a video game and nothing more. But I was really upset what they'd done with him. But what I was even more upset with really just how some people reacted to this. It's just dear. Like, guys, you know, it's been 15 years at this point, but it's just a video game. They changed my character. Yeah, he's like, in my opinion, the best video game character out there. He's just a video game ass character, and I absolutely love that about Dante. And the fact that they just butchered him, in my opinion, at least with the original trailer. They ended up kind of reworking him, and I think he looks much cooler now, or at least this take on it, the the final version of the character. But yeah, what some people were doing here, sending death threats to Ninja Theory and the writer, creator, producer of the game, that was ridiculous. Like, I've never understood that. I've never been a fan of that. And that's what I was really more ashamed of, is that people just sort of, that's how they got sort of, or they became aware of like the DMC fan base, as it were. And so it was terrible. That's what we were getting classified as, a bunch of doofuses just getting mad for the character change. And hey, listen, guys, I didn't like it either, but you can go out of your way to send death threats or think like a moron. Sorry. But anyway, Devil May Cry or DMC HD collection, get these awesome classic badass games in one disc, in a single Blu-ray disc. I absolutely love this cover, by the way. Absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites. I love the DMC3 Dante with the silhouettes of the backdrop characters from DMC 1 and 2. Unpopular opinion, but I kind of like the design of I'm a big fan, actually, of the design of this DMC Fabio looking version of Dante. Yeah, I love his outfit. I think the outfit in this game is, I think, the best outfit in any game, in my opinion. Followed by probably DMC 1, then 5, then 3, and then 4. I think the one in 4 looks a little goofy. I wasn't a big fan of the leather chaps. But yeah, I love this one. And it's so sad because I had a friend who recommended me to play Devil May Cry before I got into it. And I always thought it was like, no, I don't want to get into that. Like, it looks like a vampire game. I don't really, jive with vampires. But it's like, no, it's Devil May Cry. It's in the name. You fight demons. It's like, yeah, but he looks like a vampire. I don't remember what I had with vampires at the time, but yeah. I started actually with 3, and then I worked my way backwards. I worked my way to 1 and 2. And yeah, at that time, I really enjoyed this game. Playing it now, it's rough, but I enjoyed it then. Oh, here it is, baby. Yeah, look at this thing. Masterpiece. What else is there to be said? One of the best games of all time. One of my favorite games of all time. Better than the original. I'm sorry, I said it. Do I love the original? Absolutely. It's a masterpiece. But we can stop pretending that the original one is better. Although I still play the original. I played it this Halloween, actually. It's like a tradition of mine. I play the original RE4 almost every Halloween. Absolutely love that game. I think it's definitely in my top 3 favorite games of all time. The Resident Evil 4. Yeah, probably not this one though. Like I said, I enjoy it far more. Red Dead Redemption 2, a great game, but very long. Very, very long. I unfortunately have, even when the game came out back in 2018, and I played it since then, I was finishing up school when this game came out. I was towards because I believe it came out in September or October or something like that, and I was wrapping up that semester going into the next one, but it was just those last 2 school semesters were very taxing on me. Just take too much time. I couldn't play something like this, and yeah, this game was just way too dense. And I enjoyed the story. I thought the story was great, very well written. I'm very proud of the team, which I believe they're in Carlsbad, Rockstar San Diego, which, as you may know, I have an idea. That's really literally in the neck of my woods, just around the corner from where I am at. So very proud of that. In fact, this is sort of like a homegrown game. I didn't play any part in it, of course, but it's cool to say that at least. Yeah, just too dense. And this is a game that every time I pick it up from my shelf, I always look at it and I really want to jump back into it, but it's just, I can't, guys. It's just too much, way too much. You literally need to dedicate like a month to this thing, or 2 to even scratch the surface. At least from the 10 that I have, it's unfortunate, but a great game nevertheless. This is a sealed copy of GT7. I don't know why I have this. I really don't. I can't remember if somebody bought this for me or if I picked it up. But GT7 is awesome. Not a big on racing games, but I did play the. This is heavy. I wonder what else it has in there. But I did play it on the PS5, and I got the platinum for it, which was very hard. Yeah, I was proud of myself when I did that because, like I said, it's very hard. Oh, here it is. The black sheep of the series, probably. Resident Evil 6, the game that could have been. Yeah, this was the game that seemed to have potentially thrown the Resident Evil series off the edge. I still defend the game in that its mechanics are exceptional. I think the game mechanics are really cool. I think it has some of the best gameplay. Very underrated in my opinion. In terms of just sheer gameplay, that you can just John Wick your way through this stuff, through the action side pieces and stuff. That's really cool. I'm actually sometimes a little surprised that people talk about that more often. I just realized. Yeah, sorry guys if you guys couldn't hear me. Prior to my mic has been moving around a lot with this sweater. Probably shouldn't wear it next time. I don't know what it is, but it's like on my collar. It just keeps bouncing around as I turn or rotate to grab the next game. So I'm sorry if you missed everything I was saying. Well, anyway, good game mechanics here for this one. Just a poor story in my opinion. Very rushed. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Another great game. Fun game from 2019. Got some Dark Souls elements in it. But also somewhat character action, which is my type of game. At the time, I was still heavily into the Star Wars IP. I love Star Wars. I've never really got into it too much in my videos, I don't think, but I was a huge Star Wars fan as a kid. I love the movies. I have 2 lightsabers in my living room, like the replicas and whatnot. I got the Vader saber and also have the original Kylo Ren Hasbro. I think I forget what they call it, the Force, like I forget what Hasbro calls them, some kind of marketing term they have for them, or marketing name. Yeah, but I used to love the Star Wars IP. I am sort of falling off the bandwagon from ever since Disney's milked the hell out of it. And hey, I think that was the plan all along, right? They know what they're doing. They're milking it to now appeal the younger audience. Now that the older folk are moving away from it, and it is what it is. It sucks. I hate it, but yeah, I still like the game though. Very big fan. I just don't watch any of the shows, or I'm not interested in any of the movies. I hate saying this, and I hate even thinking it, because I know people's hard work goes into it, and people work on things, and so on and so forth, but yeah, I hope that those new movies don't do very well. At least a part of me does. It's just, Disney just really dropped the ball. I was so excited when they acquired the IP. As you can see, I could go on a ramble talking about Star Wars. I used to love just the property overall, the movies. Some of you out there are probably gonna squeal or roll your eyes when I say this, but I actually got into it because of the prequels. I love those are my age, or my era. Those movies are sort of targeted towards me, I guess in some ways. So I somewhat enjoyed the sequel trilogy. I thought they were okay, but Last Jedi was just a slap in the face. Anyway, moving on. Evil Within, fantastic survival horror game. Very, very underrated in my opinion. This is such a just Japanese survival horror type ass game. Absolutely fantastic game. I don't think I said it enough last time I spoke about this, but I absolutely love this game. I went back this Halloween to play it. Yeah, is it a little dated? Yes. Can it be better? Absolutely. It's a little wonky. Some parts it's a little jank, but it's a great game. I absolutely love the atmosphere in this game. I truly, this is a fantastic game. I love this cover, by the way. It's like very The Shining-esque. Yeah, fantastic game. Definitely play it. It's also very difficult if you're playing it in the harder modes. It can be very challenging. I remember I platinumed it over 10 years. Goodness me, over 10 years ago now. At this point, Jesus, where has the time gone? But you gotta play it on a Kumu, which you die with one hit. Yeah, very tough but fun. Oh, look at these, the classics. Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 Remix on the PS4. These are classic games, so like I was saying, these are some of my childhood games here. I think 2 is better than 1, and I think it's overall my favorite. But yeah, just I get nostalgic just looking at this. It reminds me of being a kid. Yeah, just fun games. Unfortunately, I didn't really care much for 3. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I think it's what I said is that I was rushing to it. I feel like I had to rush. I didn't have that much time. I was like ignoring side quests and whatnot just so I could just finish it up and get on with the DMC5. So yeah, fun games though, great times. Uncharted 4. I unfortunately don't have a regular box for it because I got the collector's edition, like a nerd. But this is a fantastic game. My favorite in the series, I think. I think that Drake's Fortune doesn't get enough love, but I think, I was gonna say Drake's Fortune is probably after, but I think 3 is right behind it, to be honest. I think 2, I love 2, but I think 2 is a little overrated. Kill me. But I love it though. I still think it's a fantastic game. Oh, The Last of Us Part 2. This is a phenomenal game. Very controversial during the time. This game also reminds me of COVID. This is my wife's favorite game I think just in general. She doesn't play games, but when I played the first game and this game, she would literally tell me, like, don't play it until I'm watching you play it. It's just funny. She didn't really care much about like the gameplay and stuff. And I was explaining to her like how well it is. Like, oh, look at how it's evolved. You can now go pro, and Ellie can do this, that. And, she doesn't really care, but she loves the story. And yeah, guys, when I beat this game, I felt also all kinds of things that I've never really felt in a game before. Strangely, it sounds very cliche and dramatic, really. I know, but I think I don't know, guys. Depending on the time of day, or depending on the day, I may give you a different answer. But I think that this may be my favorite, or not my favorite, the best game I've ever played. I know you're gonna hate me even more for saying that, because it is a very controversial game. It's just, it's either between this and Part 1. I absolutely love Part 1. I don't know, it could be, the only reason I'm kind of mixed on it is because of the gameplay. I love the gameplay on the second game. Just love it. Absolutely love it. Awesome games here. The 10th anniversary bundle launch edition for Bayonetta, and my wife makes fun of listening because the title screen says Vanquish. She makes fun of it. Don't know why. 2 fantastic games. I need to go back and platinum this game. I have not done so. I absolutely love this game, and I can't believe I haven't platinumed it. I had never played Vanquish until literally just recently. Very, very good game. Just such a, I don't know. It's of that era, but it's really cool the way that they managed to combine like the whole boost movement and whatnot. It's such a Mikami game. He's just one of my favorite developers, really, at this point. I know he's getting older, and he's probably shaping up to just retire and stuff, but that guy is influential, and it's everywhere. Great developer. Vanquish. That platinum was a pain in the butt. It took me some time. I was very bad at it. Alright, everyone. This is my 6th attempt. I'm having some technical difficulties with my phone. So I'm just going to speed right through these because I don't know what's going on. My video just keeps randomly stopping. I've amassed about almost 3 hours worth of recording, trying to figure out finishing off this video. I'm just going to pick off where we left off with the order. I would believe I was talking about the order, but this is the next game. Order. Game. I love it. Bloodborne, the best Soulsborne in my opinion. Highly recommend it. Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. Never played it. Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection. All of the games were the original 3 trilogy remastered. Definitely pick it up if you haven't played them. Days Gone. I hope we get a sequel one day. It's very doubtful.
this was a great game. One of the better games to come out in 2019, but for whatever reason, didn't sell to Sony's expectations. And also critically, it wasn't received as well. I think primarily because of bugs and stuff. But yeah, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. One of my favorite of the Uncharted games. You play as Nadine, Chloe, and you have sidekick Nadine, which I'm not a fan of, but I love Chloe. Chloe's fantastic. Reminds me of like Lara Croft, sort of like a modern Lara Croft, although we kind of have that already with the rebooted Tomb Raider games. Spider-Man on the PS4, one of the best PS4 games. Capcom Fighting Collection. I've only played 30 minutes of this, and that was primarily Street Fighter 2. Yeah. Shadow of the Colossus. One of the PS4's. Well, even though it's not a PS4, it's actually a PS2. It's a remake of the original. Great game. Yeah, love it. Depending on what day you ask me, it's the best game of all time. Sorry. It's just, yeah. I played it to death at this point, so. No, that's not to say it's my favorite game. I just, in terms of just, nostalgia and what I remember and so on, it was. And I still think it's the best video game experience for anyone. Again, you can hate me for saying that. It's totally fine. It's absolutely valid. But I think I still think it's or part 2. I don't. The Evil Within 2, one of my favorite survival horror games. I absolutely love this one. Is it better than the first? Probably not. It feels very, very different than the first game. It's just tonally. You can tell it's a little bit more westernized. Wonderful 101. I haven't played it. Cyberpunk 2077. Great game. I came back to it, and thankfully, and I really, really enjoyed it. I want to pick up the DLC and play that because that looks like a blast. One of the best games of all time, right here. Definitely in my top 10. The original Bioshock. Phenomenal game. Absolutely phenomenal game. I don't know if anyone here has not played it, but if you haven't, you're missing out. It's almost 20 years old. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm old. 20 years old almost. This came out in 2007 originally. It's like 18 years ago. Good me. Oh god. Anyway. That was it, guys. I apologize. I just went through this very quickly because I don't know if my camera is going to just stop recording at any point now. So I apologize that I just blazed through those last copies. I originally had recorded for like another 40 minutes initially, and then I realized that it wasn't recording. I tried multiple times, and yeah, it's not working. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I apologize about that. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like, subscribe. Yeah, let me know which games you like from the collection. But until then, you take care.